Welcome to the GCN Tech Show and Happy New Year, everybody!
Yeah, Happy New Year indeed. Well, this week we've got new tyres, carbon derailleurs, plus some Colnago shoes.
And what's going to be hot in the world of tech in 2019, or at least what we want to be hot.
Yeah, what we want. Right, well, making a welcome return in my eyes for 2019 are the famous green-treaded Michelin cyclocross tyres. Now, these were actually discontinued, I think, back in 2002, but in that interim period, we have in fact seen them a couple of times used by riders. Most famously, actually, Wout Van Aert, 2017, he won the World Cyclocross Champs on board a pair of really old tyres that he did in fact hack or bodge from a pair of clincher ones onto the carcass of a Dugas tubular. There we are.
Yeah, pretty cool. There's going to be 2 tread patterns available, and Michelin has been really clever in the naming of these tread patterns. So there's going to be mud for mud, and then jet for drier conditions. And there's also going to be clinchers and tubulars available as well. But do you want a pair?
I wouldn't mind, actually. Yeah.
Well, you're going to have to wait until August or September time. But yeah, pretty cool.
Yeah, it's nice. I just hope they've got a tubeless version because, well, everyone's going to be screaming out for a pair of tubeless ones, let's face it. Right, some serious bling now. Check this out. Yep, I got your pun book for Christmas. Thank you.
All right. This is the new version 2.0 SLF Motion Hyperspeed Oversized Hyperspeed System. It's made from carbon.
Yeah, it looks incredible. And it's got 14 teeth and 18 teeth pulley wheels, and it's actually there designed to actually reduce the drivetrain friction, as well as being compatible with up to a 32-tooth cassette sprocket. It's got multiple spring tensions, and well, it's lighter and stiffer than ever before.
Yeah, and it looks incredible.
Yeah, it does.
Before we get on to this week's hot topic.
Why'd you do that?
Alan Partridge reference. Right. A couple of weeks back, we had some really great comments on our tech show where we tried to build a bike with the most heritage. So here are some of those.
Yeah, now Presta Chuck, a regular commenter in fact, says Sturmey Archer was making hubs in 1902. Shimano was not founded until 1921. But does Sturmey Archer qualify for this project? They don't make road components, and they were sold to Sunrace in the year 2000. Then goes on to say, just build the darn bike with 12-speed Campagnolo group set. It doesn't get much more Italian than a Celeste Bianchi with a Campagnolo build kit.
Yeah.
It's a really valid point now, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it's good. But then also a few other people mentioned Sturmey Archer. So one of them is Amphia Leathmore, who said, Sturmey Archer have been around since 1902. I just recently bought an integrated Sturmey Archer cassette and free hub to replace a Dura Ace one. Forget Shimano and Campag, you're going to have to use Sturmey Archer drivetrain. And he put a link to sturmeyarcher.com.
Oh.
They're still going, they're still making hubs.
Yeah, I mean, I think when we came, to actually talk about this project or, imaginary project, we were thinking about a whole group set in our minds. But yeah, that's exactly it. You could have a bike, a modern bike with a Sturmey Archer, and of course, plenty of bikes still do come with them.
Yeah, you could get Sturmey Archer hubs front and rear. You could make it a single-speed bike or have one of the internal hub-geared Sturmey Archer hubs.
That's what I like. Yeah, the little funny little chain link thing. Anyway, and then we had Joe Cavendish who says, "Feel like you missed an opportunity to highlight a pedal/platform system. Clip or clipless though? Worth mentioning. Look for the clipless pedal design, I wager."
Yeah, good point. And yeah, we did miss an opportunity. You're right. And I think look is the way to go with the clipless pedal that they had back in the 80s. But it is a contentious point because there's a few different brands out there that lay claim to being the first clipless pedal. So for example, Time also claim if you go on their website, they were the first clipless pedal brand. However, I do believe Look is older than Time when you actually dig into it.
And I think if we're going to go really old and traditional, there's probably a brand, I don't know, like Leotard or something like that, who still make toe clip style pedals.
But yeah.
So yeah, I love checking out those comments though.
Yeah, thanks very much for all your comments and keep them coming.
The tyres was definitely a big debate, wasn't it?
Yeah, tyres was a big debate. No. But I think it is Conti.
I'm not going down that road again. Well, it's 2019, and we thought to ourselves, we want to see what new tech we're most excited about in 2019. What's on the horizon, or what would we like to see?
Yeah, so myself and John have thought about this, but we also reached out on social media to you guys to ask if you had any suggestions of things you'd like to see. Now, you know what, right? I think it's 2019, right? We need a name for our loyal fans and contributors on the GCN Tech Show. What do you reckon?
Yeah, definitely. How about this? Tech Squadron.
Done. Right, so if you've got any suggestions of stuff you'd like to see in 2019, you know what to do. Let us know in the comments section below. Tech Squadron Scramble?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
What do you
want to see?
Well, 2019 or 2019, as you say. I'd like to see more of Suggestion Boy.
Yeah, where is he?
I don't know.
How about Bike Fault back here?
Is that it?
No. I'd also like to see the return of the lightweights, because last year was the Aero Disc Strikes Back, wasn't it? Let's face it.
Yeah, for pretty much every bike, every week there was a new Aero disc brake bike. I'd like to see lighter bikes, but at the very least, an Aero disc brake bike that's light. Because, I mean, I love my Trek Madon. It's rapid. It's an amazing bike, but it is a bit heavy. Although I have to say, you don't tend to really notice that apart from when you're going up a really steep hill.
Yeah, now something else I'd like to see actually is more sophisticated coatings on our bikes and equipment to, help them last a little bit longer and, well, more importantly, easier to clean.
Yeah, so well, it's funny you say that, because when I was riding over Christmas, one of my friends that I was riding with, he's a big car nut, and he had covered his bike in a ceramic coating that was, well, a car product. But what this did was it created a really hydrophobic coating on the frame, which meant that it was really hard for dirt and water to stick to it. So if some dirt did stick to it, then as soon as he rinsed it with a hosepipe, it just came off straight away. And so more sophisticated coatings on bikes and equipment would just help keep them much cleaner.
Yeah. It's a wonder that, the cyclocross fraternity haven't sort of, come up with using this on their bikes, because, well, if it's going to have less mud clumping on the down tube and stuff like that, well, it's going to make the bike a hell of a lot lighter, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I think more, much improved surface technologies applied in bike frames and bike parts could be a really cool thing that I'd love to see more of in the future.
I can't imagine the group set manufacturers really taking it on board, though, can you?
Yeah, but I'd be happy.
I think that everything would last longer, wouldn't it? They wouldn't sell as much. But
that's a very cynical view, John. But I'd just be happy I'd be happy just having it on my frames, keeping my frame cleaner.
Yeah, I have seen it actually before now. A clothing manufacturer made a pair of shorts made out of some special material, and they were a pair of white shorts. They rode through some mud, and one half was made out of this sort of mud repellent fabric, and the other half wasn't. And well, they had one buttock cleaner than the other at the end of the ride.
Well, there you go. What suggestions have we had from viewers?
Right. Well, the viewers
from Tech Squadron.
Yes, that's right, yeah, from the Squadron Assemble. Right, well, first up, Matt Pagnolo, I like that one. Obviously likes Campac. How about a digital screen built into the tops of the handlebars, so no need to bolt on a computer? Automatic chain loop, and we've already got one of those. Scott Oil made one, didn't they?
Yes, yeah.
Yep. Ideal for long distance riding, Matt says. Universal standard being used for bottom brackets.
Oh.
Well, that would just be a dream, Matt, let's face it.
Dare to dream, John.
And the final one, probably one of my absolute favourites. Quality electric socks that just heat your toes.
As opposed to the poor quality electric socks.
Yeah, that just heat your ankles. All right, who else we got?
Russ Bainbridge.
Yep.
He wants to see a Shimano 105 electric group set.
Yeah.
Well,
I think everyone wants to see that, don't they?
I wonder how long it'll be before we see that.
I don't reckon we'll ever see it.
It trickles down.
Yeah, I don't think we'll ever see it.
You don't think we'll ever see it?
No. But as ever, we want you to still get involved. So let us know what you want to see in 2019 down there in the comments section. Because, well, we've got quite vivid imaginations, but Tech Squadron are way vivider than us.
Time for more tech. Now, if you want to show people that you're a cyclist, even when you're not wearing Lycra, then you can wear a GCN hoodie available in the GCN shop. Alternatively, this new product, might be of interest to you.
Yeah, now admittedly, I'm a part-time sneakerhead these days, but these new shoes from Adidas, there's 2 new pairs, they've teamed up with Colnago, and I think they look, well, brilliant really. It's a subtle little nod to the cycling community out there, and the white trim stars, well, they use the same red that the Colnago Mexico did, and I think they look absolutely brilliant. Should we get matching pairs?
Yeah. It's now time for Screw Riding Upgrades by Upgrades, where you submit pictures of your bikes or equipment and show us before and after how they've been upgraded for a chance of winning the most coveted prize of all, the GCN Capron.
Where is it, mate?
Yeah.
I can't find it. What have you done with it?
I swapped it for this gold chocolate coin.
Oh, that's not very nice. What about the Squadron?
It's all right. We'll get one in time for when we need to deliver one out.
Oh, right, okay.
I'll get another one.
Okay, that's all well and good then. Well, anyway, let's recap the Squadron then. 2 weeks ago, we had Alfredo's Peugeot up against Magnus's Red Reynolds Restored Beauty. And well, 67% of the votes, it was the Peugeot. So well done. Get in touch with us on Facebook and we can arrange the delivery of the Capron, not the gold cup. Well, it's too late. He's already gone, isn't he?
Yeah.
Anyway, right, let's have a look then at the first submission for this week. Well, Fred from New Jersey, who wanted a smart trainer, but did not want to waste a perfectly fine existing product. So Fred did some wizardry and added a Bluetooth and ANT Plus resistance control and made his existing turbo trainer compatible with Zwift, as well as his own iPhone app. It worked so well that Fred did the same to his rollers too.
Fair one.
Yeah, fair one, Fred. I mean, look at that. I don't know what he's done with it really, but look at that for a set of rollers. Right, go on. Who's Fred up against?
Well, Fred is up against Tim from Royal Wootton Bassett. I'm going to do an offensive posh accent for Tim. Sorry if you don't have an offensive posh accent, Tim. But yeah, Tim is from Royal Wootton Bassett in Wiltshire in the UK.
They don't talk like that there, by the way.
Tim bought his bike for £80 for his partner, and it needed some TLC.
Tender
So
loving care.
Tim went to work and stripped it down, resprayed it in the only colour that would do, pink. Converted it into a single speed, and this was created, the Elo Velo. I mean, it's much tidier now, isn't
That is
it?
nice, isn't it?
White chain is...
I like that. I think it looks really good.
I'm not normally a fan of pink bikes.
You said that before, remember? And you ate your words, just like you ate that gold coin.
And I've also said I'm not a big fan of white tyres. However, I admire what Tim has achieved, and I like his colour coordination of the chain, the saddle, the tape, the tyres, the rims,
the hoods,
the pedals. It's
cables.
The cables. It's
everything.
He's been on a pink-white mission, and he's succeeded.
Anyway, vote up there. Next week, the winners will get announced, and you will get a Capron. Right, bike of the week time, and well, this is the part of the show where we put 2 bikes that we like the look of, head to head, and the Squadron, that's right, you get to vote for which is your favourite. So let's have a little recap. A couple of weeks ago, we had the Specialized of Anna van der Breggen in a really limited edition colourway, and that was up against another really limited edition bike, and that was a Giant that was, well, a Tom Dumoulin special edition, but painted in a Van Gogh-inspired kind of way, wasn't it?
Yes, what was the winner?
Well, 67% of the votes was Van der Breggen Specialized.
I have to admit,
Yeah, I voted for
that
that. Bit weird. Yeah, I didn't really like that Giant. It looked a bit mucky, didn't it?
Oh, I like both of them, but Van der Breggen's was a nice one for me.
Anyway, right, who we got this week then?
Well, this week it's a custom paint special.
Yes. Ooh,
So we've
nice.
got a bike from Ali at Fat Creations, who's a good
top
friend of
bloke,
ours. Yeah,
top
really
bloke.
nice guy and very talented at custom paint jobs. But one that stood out for us was this custom painted Pinarello Dogma he did recently that has an amazing finish on it, but it also has this really cool honeycomb pattern effect on the inside of the stays and the forks. Who are we putting it against?
Well, Ali is up against Tony Spray.
Good acronym.
Yeah,
Tony.
I don't think it's Tony's real name. But anyway, Tony has sprayed up this bike, and it's a BMC, and it's got this chameleon-style paint effect, which you're a big fan of, I do believe. Yeah. And it's got gold leaf detailing in the logo, as well as a gold leaf houndstooth style design on the top tube there. So we've got, well, honeycomb versus houndstooth. So, or houndstooth, depends how you say it. Tooth. There we are, he said it. But anyway, who's it going to be, Ali or Tony?
It's hard.
Tough one. This, yeah, I really don't know. Really don't know. Vote
you
up
decide.
There. Yeah, vote up there, squadron. Right, you know what moment this is, Ollie. It's the bike vault. So you know what I'm going to do, don't you? Squadron know what I'm going to do. Cameraman knows what I'm going to do. I know what I'm going to do. First one of 2019. You decide how it's said. Right, anyway, let's crack on. First one this week. Actually, tell Squadron, first of all, how do they get their bike into the bike vault?
Submit it via the uploader down below.
Right. First up this week is Magnus in Malmo in Sweden. Ever been?
I've not. I really want to go to Sweden.
I have. Unlucky. Right. It's a specialised bench, custom painted with a Zip SL Sprint stem, bars, Zip wheels as well. At the moment, Ultegra 6700, but well, Magnus says they're looking to get ETAP or Di2 in the future. What about that then?
Don't need it.
No, it doesn't need it, does it?
That is
great looking bike,
nice,
isn't it?
Yeah.
Look at that road. Oh, look at the hay bales. Good. Look at the hedges. Good. Look at the bike.
Beautiful depth of field.
Yeah.
Into that image. Quite like little past normal matching bottles as well. They match
nice
quite
touch.
nicely, but the tan sidewalls are doing it for me there.
Ingenious use of the helmet as well as a stand.
On me, gold chain.
Gold chain.
Gold chain.
Woo, yes, I like this.
I like the zips. I like the bars.
Yeah, I was a big fan of that stem.
I mean, one slight little criticism is the angle of the crank arm.
Yeah, and also the position of the valves. But sometimes these things.
So, I mean, the first rule of bike vault is there are no rules of bike vault.
No, well, we make up the rules as we go along.
There are rules to make and break as we. I mean, that's a super nice.
Yeah, super nice for me too.
Good start to the year.
It is, yeah. Oh, well done, Magnus. You know,
right.
What a start. Right, who's up next?
Next up, we've got Nivan from Penang in Malaysia. Not Penang. No, that's North Korea. Penang in Malaysia, and this is his giant SCR 2016. Obviously, he's a Chris Froome fan, and he's got the Froome little rhino on the down tube near the head tube joint, the Sky logo as well. And I mean, that's just enough. I mean, that's someone.
Yeah.
Who, that's clearly Nivan's total pride and joy. I mean, he's very proud of that, and he knows how to show it in its best light, and that's what he's done. He's obeyed the rules. You know, he's got the.
Oh, look, the valves, the cranks.
He's taken his saddlebag off and his bottle.
Yeah.
He's a Sky fan and proud.
Yeah, it really goes well actually with the background. I like that. Personally, for me, that's getting super nice because I think it's done really well there with the image. Yeah, super nice. 2 out of 2 so far. Right, go on then. Who's up next?
Next we have Stephen from Singapore, who sent in his Corima Puma with what looks to be Ultegra 6500 or Jura Ace 7700. But one thing I do know is it's got those specialised tri-spokes on there. The same ones that Graham O'Brien used.
Yeah, very popular wheel, weren't they? Yeah, Lance used them. Yeah, lots of riders use those.
Classic tech.
I absolutely love that.
Yeah,
that bike. I remember I worked in a bike shop on Saturdays when I was like 15, 16, and they had one of those hanging up in there. Just to go in there, I used to touch it.
It's a piece of history, isn't it? And it's
great looking bike.
I also appreciate how he's lined up the tri-spokes perfectly as well. It's cycling history. Yeah. For me, that is a super nice.
Yeah, super nice for me too. Do you remember when Boardman? He
could be on for a clean streak this week.
Oh God, yeah. Boardman used a yellow one of those, didn't he, on the track? Set the hour record down in Bordeaux. Day before the Tour de France went in '94. Something like that. Anyway, right. Tim from Sweden up next with this early '90s steel Bianchi made it with a modern twist. Campagnolo Centaur group set, aero wheels.
Yeah.
I really like this one, actually. I really like that. Looks great. Works well.
You like the colour?
I don't mind the colour. I'm not going down that road. I don't mind the colour. I just wish that the bikes can be different colours. Right. I don't want to go there.
So you like that colour?
Yeah, it's all right. Yeah, it's all right.
Okay.
I know what you're getting at. Right. It looks really good actually with those black components on there. I think it looks really, really
So
good.
there's a quick release lever's not done up there.
Ooh, oh yeah, on the brake. Yeah, that like little button on the Campagnolo's levers that's been undone or pushed in, so the lever's gone out in front. So that kind of lets it down, especially for a bike vault image.
Yeah.
Doesn't it?
Nice.
Yeah, it's gonna have to be a nice.
Right
then, final one.
Look at that.
Look at this.
What a beauty.
Right, who is it then?
Well, Olivier at the Pearl in Qatar
Oh, blimey.
has his specialised S-Works Venge with it's custom painted. It's got
chrome.
NV wheels, Dura Ace Di2, THM crank, seriously bling, carbon chain rings, a Burke saddle, and look exact SRM pedals.
Blimey,
Wow, that
Olivier,
is
that's
seriously
a
bling, isn't it?
serious bit of kit you got there, mate.
Absolutely stunning.
Yeah, gum sidewalls, what they specialised turbos.
Turbo cottons.
Yeah, nice. I'm liking that a lot, especially in that chrome. I mean, lightweight bottle cages.
I think that's the nicest bike I've seen so far this year. That's absolutely.
So far this year, it's the first episode, but yeah, I
Plain
like where you've gone with that.
Stunning, isn't it? Absolutely.
Well, there's only one thing for it then, Ollie.
No, wait.
What?
The valves are too long.
Oh, so they are. Well, there we are.
It's a nice.
And it's a nice from me too.
Must try harder.
Brutal. But you know what to do. If you want your bike to go into the bike vault, then use the uploader tool found in the description below and submit pictures. Tell us about you, your bike, where you're from, and well, in the case of Olivia, don't use longer valves than necessary. Right, Ollie?
It's nearly time for the end of the show, but next week we're going to do a rundown of all the new pro bikes for the 2019 season. I'm really excited, especially for Cav's BMC time machine.
Yeah, it's always good, isn't it? A new year and all the new bikes the riders get, especially when they have to swap around teams and such like. Anyway, Ollie, I better go, mate, because I'm off to the Tour Down Under next week. Yep, it sucks to be me. Australia, here I come.
Yeah, that's going to be rubbish. We better get going though. It takes a long time to get there. But before you go, you should head over to the GCN shop and get yourself one of these can coolers to help keep you frothy cold when you're down under.
Can I just take this one?
You can do, but they are on sale at the moment in the GCN shop.
Oh, cool. Oh, it's not a Foster's or a Castlemaine, but yeah, that'll do. Anyway, now, if you want to see another great video, how about clicking down here for Ollie's Trek Madon Pro bike?
And here for your Mercs that you've customised.
Yeah.
Nice.